I'm willing to go first. I'm willing to take the bumps and the bruises and the scratches that comes with
You
being
guys do hear
first,
that.
you know?
Frickin'
And
A,
it's not
Tyra.
easy. And there's a lot of pain with being first. You know, you get the glory and the this and the that, but there's a lot of other things that come with that.
Yes. Tyra,
Yeah.
what a treat and an absolute privilege to have you. I remember the very first
Yeah.
time that Tony met you, Tyra, and he came home and he's like, honey, you are going to love this woman. She's so true. She's so
Aw.
humble. She's so fierce. But what struck me was he talked about how grounded you are and humble you are. And I'm curious, you've been such a pioneer in your life, and you know, your life, you're in so many different avenues. You've gone first, you're a creator. Where does that come from?
You know what? I have a mama that is a powerhouse in
Yeah.
herself. I mean, she was a single mama. My parents divorced when I was 6 years old.
Mm.
We went from a 3-bedroom, beautiful house to a 1-bedroom apartment. She was sleeping on the floor in the
Oh,
living room and gave my brother and I the bedroom, you know, but she always had a plan. And just, she was like, in 1 year, we're going to be here. And then when we got there, and then the next year, we're going to be here. The next year, we're going to be here. So I learned from her about tunnel vision, sacrifice, and dreams. And I would not be here talking to you right now if it wasn't for my mama.
wow. Well, that's amazing. Who has a mama that has so massively shaped your life? My mom. When you say like just her, my mom's isness, the beauty of who she is, the joy of who she continues to be, she fills our household, and it's her representation, my parents' example of what love can look like. So I so relate to that.
You know, it's so interesting as moms, we you know, we start turning into our mamas.
Mm.
And so like I'm totally turning into my mom.
It's beautiful.
But at the same time, there's things where I'm like, I'm gonna take that my mama did, but I
Mhm.
ain't gonna take that. So there's certain things that
Yes.
I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. But she, you know, she was my friend, but she was, as a mom, we were very close. But the minute I crossed that line, she was like, yeah, I'm your friend, but I'm your mama. And you don't talk to me that way. So there
Yes.
was this beautiful balance. Another thing that she did is she was very transparent, and there was no subject that was taboo. So I can ask her anything:
Wow.
sex, drugs, alcohol, anything. And she was extremely, extremely honest. And so now I'm trying to bring that to my son. He's 8 years old, but he asks certain questions. And I'm like, I don't think we're ready for that talk yet.
Uh-huh.
But you know, it's like kind of balancing that, and bringing the beauty of that to him. And then I also think my mom was so raw and so real that it made me not attracted to experiment with a lot of that stuff, because she would just kind of talk to me about it, and it was just, there was no taboo that I
Wow.
needed to discover myself.
You guys, do you hear all the
Yeah.
common threads, even what you just said, Tyra, about your mama? That's something that it was transparent, that it was on the table, that it wasn't taboo, and that allowed you to find it rather than what we resist persist. It's like so
Mm.
unreal. And just for all you mothers out there, you know, sometimes when we get caught in the day-to-day and the responsibilities of caregiving, we forget the unbelievable impact that we have upon our children, never mind upon our families. It's beautiful. I'm curious,
Mm.
you juggle so many roles, and you from supermodel to wife to businesswoman to daughter. How do you shift between those trajectories, and how do you bring your fullest, truest self to each without feeling pulled, or do you?
Yeah. And you know, it's hard, Sage. You
Yes,
know,
I
we
know.
both have your little one is littler than mine, but they're
Yes.
still in that kind of what is it, generation alpha, I think they're
Yes,
calling them.
yeah.
You know, and we're working women, we're hard working women,
Yes.
and the world has changed and it's shifted, particularly after COVID,
Yes.
where we're now working at home.
Yes.
And so what happens is my son comes home from school and he sees mommy, but mommy's still at work,
Yes. Yes.
you know, but I have to say, yes, even though I'm at work, he's at home. So I need to put this thing down,
Yeah.
as it's almost like an addiction, right? It's our
Yes.
lives are in this thing.
Mhm.
And I have to say, just put it down.
Yes.
And now he's cognizant of it. And he's like, mommy, you're working and we're supposed to be hanging out. And I'm like, oh, but I just got to, and I'm like, you know what? It can wait.
That's beautiful.
and I put it down and put it out of sight, because
Yes.
even just looking at it causes
Yes.
stress,
Yes.
or the pull of that addiction of I got to answer that email.
Yes. And I find it really helpful to have a space to go. I have my library. I walk in there. I tell her that mommy, a lot of times she'll want to walk me now. She'll want to walk me to mom's office where I work, to the library, and she feels a part of it. And then I shut the door and she knows. And so that
Yes.
it's in that muddled space.
Also, there's a bit of an integration. So
Yes.
I'm in the ice cream business now.
Cool.
And so now I'm teaching my son so that he feels a part of work, because our work is also delightful.
Cool.
So I'm teaching him pairing now. And this salty thing goes with this sweet thing, and tell mommy what you think, and inhale, and the flavors go through. And so now he's participating and feels like a part of that.
Wow.
Because we still do work at home and he still does hear it. So I want him to feel like this is our business, not mommy's business.
That's amazing. How did you get, what pulled you into the ice cream business?
Oh my goch, Sage, I'm obsessed with ice cream.
I'm so am I. I think every woman's got a soft spot for ice cream. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So years ago, when I talked about, decades and decades ago, when I was 6 years old and my parents divorced, and my mom, we went to the apartment with my brother. She was working 2 jobs, and then years later, 3 jobs. So I didn't get to see her that much during the week. So she said on Friday nights, it was our time together. So after homework, after dinner, we would hop in her white Honda Accord and drive to Hollywood Boulevard. And there was a Haagen-Dazs ice cream shop. And she would get chocolate ice cream. I would get my coffee flavor. I was a kid and still loved coffee ice cream, which is a little weird for a kid. And we would sit in the car and eat that ice cream, and she would talk about the sacrifices that she was making for our family. And then she would ask me about my dreams, and then she would coach me on how to get there, and the things that I needed to do, and the things that maybe my friends weren't willing to sacrifice for those dreams, but that if you have that focus, you can get there.
Yes.
So for me, ice cream is not just the sweetness and the delectable, which is amazing, but it stands for my mama, and bonding in that car and talking about dreams and sacrifice to get our family, and then later my dreams to come true.
That's unbelievable. I heard you say in your sizzle that, you want to make certain that your life leaves an impact, or I perceive that to also be a blessing. Where does that come from? Is that the example of your mama? Where does that come from in your life?
You know what? I actually have no idea.
Huh.
I have no idea why I want to, knock down doors, and I'm willing to go first. I'm willing to take the bumps and the bruises and the scratches that comes with
You
being
guys do
first.
hear that?
Freaking and it's not easy. And there's a lot of pain with being first. You get the glory and the this and the that, but there's a lot of other things that come with that. But I'm willing to take that so that the people and the women and the people of color and the Black people and everybody that's coming after me, that it's easier for them.
Amen.
And so when I talk to even young Black girls that are models now, or even influencers, and they're like, I had this dream to do this, Tyra, because I saw you. And I tell them, I wasn't dreaming it, because I didn't see somebody that looked like me to let me know that I could accomplish that. So I wasn't dreaming it. I had some luck and some preparation that met with that opportunity, but I wasn't dreaming it because I didn't know it was possible. So the fact that now a lot of those doors are down and they're coming through, it's like, okay, all the pain was worth it.
All the pain was worth it. You guys, all the pain was worth it is a statement, an understanding, and a reality for us all to live by. Andra, you guys. Tyra Banks, you're unbelievable. You're unbelievable. You're such an amazing example, role model, how you live your life, how you embody and navigate all of who you are. It's super cool to sit with you and join with you. I'm curious, you just turned 50. And I am as well. And I know for who else is 50 out there? Just curious. Amazing. Myself included. And it's such a big milestone. And yet a lot of women can believe that it's an ending of their life. Even 40, people talk about 40 like it's like the plague. And I've never felt more creative. I've never felt more moving through me. I've never felt more called. Even today, like it's just like it's uncontainable. And I don't know if that's a word, but you know what I mean. I'm curious how 50 has changed you? I saw one of your posts. I think even your post on Instagram was about being unstoppable.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, it's so funny. For 50 for me, okay, I'm about to say something crazy.
Oh, there she is.
I had my first alcoholic beverage at 50 years old.
What?
Yes.
Unreal.
I tasted alcohol. I know what everything tastes like, but to have a whole drink at 50, I felt like that age was like, let's go. What is this thing that
Yes.
people love so much? And that, you know, it's a curse and a beautiful thing. But what is this thing? I want to understand it. 50 for me, I feel so free. And like, I even tell my son, he's like, but why, mommy? Why do I have to do that? I said, because I'm 50 and I know what I'm talking about. Because I'm 50 and I know. And so I feel so much freer to say what I think, freer to say what I believe,
Yes.
not censoring myself.
Yes.
I had a TV show where, you know, my modeling show, and there was a character I was playing. It wasn't necessarily my true self. I would get off that, you know, screen and be scared to say things that I truly believed, scared to speak my truth. But 50 has brought out my truth, and it feels so damn good.
I think that's so cool.
It is so
I feel the
cool.
same way. Like, I feel like it's censoring myself at this point is so over. It's so old. I don't have time. I'm going to be honest in the kindest of ways.
Yes.
But I'm going to be honest about whatever
Yes.
it is I'm feeling or thinking, because there's just no more time for
Yeah.
anything else.
And
So
Marie,
I love that.
what you just said is so profound. I just want to point it out. Being truthful, but in the kindest way, those two can go hand in hand.
Yes.
You know,
And
notice that.
it is so important to say that, because
Yes.
I don't like when people say, and they'll say something kind of rude and nasty, and they're like,
Yes.
I'm just being real. And
Yeah.
I say the opposite of real is not mean.
Frickin' A, good for you.
Yeah, you understand? Or
Yes.
this, what do I say? The opposite of fake is not mean. That's what it is. The opposite of fake is not mean. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, we do.
I'm just being real. No, you don't have to be mean to be real.
Yes.
You know, you can still be polite. So, yeah.
Hear that? You don't have to be mean to be real. What's cool, Tyra, we were
Yes.
talking about earlier about how we all actually have a capacity to make a difference with our life, with our words, with what we post or what we don't post, the love that we are to ourselves, to our families, to our world around us on social media platforms. And it is such an honor and a privilege to have you here. You are such a force in nature. You're so kind, you're sincere, you're grounded, you're normal, you're beautiful, you're awesome. Like, you really are an amazing woman.